Previously on The Wizard of What?
And so begins the ultimate summer of 2025. And now for the next movie, you all know which one it is. Oh, that was a mistake. Superman!
Garbage!
Who said that? Okay, seriously, who said that?
Me!
Oh, God, not you again.
Yeah, it's me, and I'm here to defend Zack Snyder's honor! Snyder for life! Snyder for life! Snyder for life!
You're probably wondering who the guy in the thumbnail is. The one with the poorly photoshopped red eyes. Well, let me give you a little background. With the exception of the first two Christopher Reeve films, rest in peace to the king, Superman has not gotten the best luck in terms of on-screen cinematic adaptations. Now, in terms of TV, I've heard he's got some pretty good stuff. Two of them, Smallville and Superman and Lois, were actually filmed in my hometown. But in terms of movies, he's not gotten the best luck. And in my opinion, the biggest Superman actor to unfairly get the shaft is Henry Cavill. He's had three main DCEU appearances: Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League. Since then, he's only been ever reduced down to cameo appearances. Hell, some of them headless. So when we saw him in the post-credit scene of Black Adam, officially announcing the return of Henry Cavill, guess what happened? A month or two later, DC was getting a full reboot, and they were going to do another reboot of Superman.
And got Cavill fired again!
Hence, where people like him come in. This is Harry Hayterson. I know, a little on the nose. Yeah, you've probably seen people like him on the internet. Those Snyder cultists who will not accept any other version of Superman other than Henry Cavill, even if it was being made by the guy who made Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn. So now I gotta deal with people like him nagging in my ear about Snyder this, Snyder that. Just ignore him, let's just get into the review. Originally called Superman Legacy, Superman is the start to a brand new DC universe. Kind of. So I think it's safe to say that this movie has a lot on its shoulders. And since it was being made by the guy who made me cry for a raccoon for 3 movies, I had pretty high hopes for this movie. So, does it live up to my expectations? That is a big, fat, kaiju-sized yes!
Yeah, because you're a mindless consumer with no standards!
You haven't even heard my thoughts on the movie yet, and you're already judging me? Anyway, so the best word I can use to describe this movie is ambitious. Unlike Iron Man, where it starts off with only Iron Man and then builds more heroes from there, Superman is set right in the middle of this universe. So it already has characters like Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and other heroes like that. And a part of me does kind of like that. I mean, it's been proven before that you don't always need to tell the origin story of a hero. We already know how Batman's parents died. We already know that Uncle Ben said with great power comes great responsibility. We don't need to see all that again.
Yes, we do! It's vital that we see the origin of these heroes!
That is true, but here's the thing. We've already seen that in a ton of other adaptations, so we don't really need to see all that again. This is a movie where you can definitely tell is made by James Gunn. It has a lot of what I like to call James Gunnerisms. Like, you know how certain directors have certain tropes for their movies? Like Tim Burton has a lot of eerie, gothic aesthetics, or like M. Night Shyamalan has a lot of weird close-up shots, or Zack Snyder has a lot of colorless slow-mo.
What?
Like, this movie has a lot of, like, fisheye lenses. They're like shots that like can go super fast but then quickly turn around and it's like a close-up and then it keeps going zoom. Or like it does all sort of flips and whatnot. Like, for example, the hallway fight in Guardians 3. Or like another James Gunnerism, out-of-place humor. Yeah, here's the thing about the humor. The humor can be very hit or miss, but when it hits, it really hits. Like, seriously, I was busting a gut laughing at some of the jokes. But when they miss, they're not bad, they're just a little... okay. But I think one of the best things about this movie is the performances. Like, David Cornsweet, he knows Superman. He's got the voice, he's got the demeanor, he's got all that. He does a good job in making Superman very relatable. He combines a lot of elements from the other Supermans to give one of the best performances of Superman. He does a lot of ass-kicking, but he also does a lot of saving. In fact, he actually saves a squirrel in this movie. A freaking squirrel! Fun fact, that squirrel would later go on to travel the multiverse and have adventures with Lois Lane. Rachel Brosnahan is a really good Lois Lane, and of course, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I really do like in this. Yeah, you know him from playing Beast in the X-Men prequels to the Voldemort Glazer from The Menu, but here's the thing about Lex Luthor. In my opinion, I'm not really a big fan of Lex Luthor in any Superman. Not exactly any interpretations, just as a character. I'm not really a big fan of him. I don't know, maybe I'm just not a big fan of bald villains in superhero movies. I think the closest I've ever gotten to liking Lex Luthor was in two interpretations. One was in the Arrowverse, where he was played by John Cryer, Alan from 2.5 Men, and the other when he was played by Gene Hackman. Rest in peace to the king. I remember liking Gene Hackman in movies like The Poseidon Adventure, and in Superman the movie, he was pretty cool, it's just he had a lot of bumbling sidekicks. That was the one weakness of the original Superman movie. I really could have done without the bumbling sidekicks. Seriously, they're about as threatening as Team Rocket. And like I said, he is a really good Lex Luthor.
What? No, he's not. He sucks!
Oh, what? Would you rather have Jesse Eisenberg as Luthor? I also really like the other superheroes that James Gunn puts in this movie. Like Mr. Terrific, he steals the show in every scene. I really like this character. You have Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner, which is already a big upgrade from Ryan Reynolds. And then there's Hawkgirl, played by Isabella Merced. She gave a really good performance in Alien Romulus last year, and I haven't seen a lot of her filmography, like I haven't seen Last of Us, but I really do like her as Dora the Explorer. Oh yeah, speaking of which...
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi! I'm Dora the Explorer! And if you like what you see, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to The Wizard of What?
And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss another upload.
Alright. And now, back to our show.
Really?
She was literally Dora the Explorer. The transition was right there. So if I did have some problems with the movie, I would probably say that, the film does feel a little too crowded.
Go on.
Like I said, there's a lot of other characters in this other than Superman, but here's the thing. This movie doesn't feel like it was made to set up a bunch of other sequels. Each character played a part in the story. There's even a character called Metamorpho in this. He's kind of like a Skrull in a way that he can actually shapeshift, although more into materials rather than people. And he plays a pretty good role in this, and there are some really great scenes with him. But the other problem I do have, and this is more so a personal gripe, I'm not a big fan that they reused the John Williams score. Obviously they put a new spin onto it and made it feel more like the Man of Steel theme, but here's the thing. I'm not a big fan that they just reuse the same music. It'd be like if they made The Amazing Spider-Man, but they reused the Raimi theme. Both themes are really iconic, but this is a new interpretation of the character. I want to hear some new music.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
But again, that's a personal gripe. It did not take away from the movie whatsoever. But really, those are my main criticisms with the movie.
Wait, that's it? That's all the criticism you're gonna give to this movie?
Yeah, most of the things I have to say about the movie are positive.
Yeah, because they're getting paid by the studio.
Have you ever considered the fact that maybe I gave it a positive review because I liked it? How I loved it. I'm itching. I'm itching to go outside again. Huh? Anyway, so yeah, I really like this movie. This is a comic book movie through and through. It's bright, colorful, the acting is great, and the CGI looks really good as well. And on that note, I'm giving this movie an 8.5 out of 10.
Bootlicker.
Shut up. And it looks like the next DCU movie coming up is going to be Supergirl. Another character who has not gotten the best of luck on the big screen, but pretty good luck on the small screen. Question of the day. What is your favorite Superman actor? I might be a little biased, but I think my favorite's Henry Cavill. Yeah, I know other actors like Christopher Reeve are technically better, but Henry Cavill's Superman is the one I grew up with more. Kind of like Ben Affleck's Batman. But let me know your favorite.
Wait, you like Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Yeah, I do. I really enjoy the Snyder Cut, but I'm open to a new colorful adaptation.
Then you're a traitor to the Snyderverse. No cryptocurrency, no Smosh haircuts, no Miss Maisel will ever compare to forced Jesus symbolism, neck-breaking, and iconic lines like, "Do you bleed?" This new movie's so bad, I never even watched it.
What? You haven't even seen the movie?
Why should I?
Oh, I don't know, to give your own opinion instead of hating everything because it's popular?
Oh, please. Every superhero released today is complete slop. Why would this be any different?
Don't you think you're giving a little too much hate towards superhero movies now? I mean, there are a lot of good things in there, even in some of the bad ones.
Oh, yeah? I challenge you to name 5, hell, even 1 superhero movie released today that doesn't deserve hate.
Oh, yeah? I'll do you one better. I'll name 10.